Hello, Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we will understand about the defecation. It is also known as the voiding, like the pee. So, the gut-brain axis we will discuss, and the enteric nervous system. The enteric nervous system are present in the digestive system, the whole digestive system, for the creation of peristaltic movement and the detection of the food. After the digestion of food waste expelled from the anus is known as the defecation. Let's understand about the enteric nervous system. So first of all, we should need to understand the higher brain cortex. The cerebral cortex or higher brain cortex will receive the signal from after the stretching of the wall of the digestive system. So whenever the food will eat after digestion go into the large intestine from the small intestine and from the stomach, this is the large intestine, the sigmoid colon, rectum and anus. So we will focus only the sigmoid colon, rectum and anus. Rectum and anus, so remember, rectum is used for the storage of food waste, while the anus is used for the defecation. Let's understand about the gut-brain axis reflex. So in this way, the cerebral cortex or higher brain cortex will give the signal after the receiving of the signal from the stretching of the wall of the rectum. This is the food, for example. This waste which that will stretch. The stretch receptor in the wall of the large intestine, the sigmoid colon as well as rectum, which that will give the signal toward the brain. So in this way, the first of all, they go into the spinal cord, and then it's going into the spinal cord to the ascending. This is the ascending afferent neuron. So in this way, the stretch receptor in the wall of the gut, which that will transmit the signal, and in this way, this is the pelvic splanchnic nerve. It is the parasympathetic sacral 2, sacral 3, and sacral 4. Remember this, after the defecation, the stretching stop to stop the reflexes, and more waste begins to store in large intestine. So in this way, it will give the signal whenever the stretching will uncontrolled, and the full of the waste will occur in the rectum. This will go into the brain through a spinal cord is here, but in this way the brain will give the signal, the basically the pons. This will transmit the signal through cranial nerve. This cranial nerve is especially vagal nerve. The vagal nerve is important for the defecation. So the increase the intra-abdominal pressure is due to these nerves when going to a signal, as well as the two neurons which that after the receiving of the signal from stretching and will go downward, the voluntary motor neuron to external sphincter. So the two sphincter are present in the muscle of anus and the near the rectum. This is the external anal sphincter muscle. It is the skeletal muscle and voluntary. It is our control, remember. But the internal anal sphincter is the involuntary. This is unable to control. So this diagram will not show properly, but you can see that the dark red color is showing the internal sphincter muscle, while the light red color showing that external sphincter muscle. This will transmit the signal whenever we will not want to defecate. So this will lead to voluntary motor nerve to control by our own will. But remember that things, whenever this signal after the stretching to feel and go into the brain and again go into the spinal cord through vagal nerve, this go into the lumbar 1 and 2 nerves, which that is important for the basically It is the pudendal nerve, and it is used for the reflex action, and it is the involuntary. And in this way, it will lead to create the peristaltic movement, and this peristaltic movement basically will target to the internal sphincter muscle to relax, and this internal sphincter muscle to relax, so that ultimately we can relax with our own control. The external sphincter muscle through internal sphincter muscle will relax whenever, so we can hold it. The parasympathetic nervous system used for the relax, while the sympathetic nervous system used for the contract to hold it. So the parasympathetic nervous system through vagal nerve, which that is used for the expelling of the waste. This is the microbiota, the sensory afferent vagal nerve, which that sends the hungry microbiome by the production of chemical to the give the signal to the higher brain center for new food due to hungry microbiome. In this way, our vagal nerve, which that will lead to control by this, because it is the vagal nerve for increase the appetite. Remember that things. But I hope you make sense about this. The internal sphincter muscle control by the pelvic splanchnic nerve, the parasympathetic, while the voluntary motor nerve to external sphincter muscle, the sacral region. This voluntary motor nerve to external sphincter is used for the sacral. Remember the sacral 2 and the 3 and 4. Anyway, let's understand about with the summarization, and then you can understand easily. Remember, this is the internal sphincter muscle is the involuntary, while the external sphincter muscle is the voluntary. So it control, for example, the sacral 2, 3 and 4 nerves. For example, basically it will transmit after the stretching of the wall. In this way, it will lead to create the give the signal to the brain, and due to the stretching, it means the rectum will fill with the waste. In this way, the stretching will give the response to the brain, and this will lead to give the inhibition of the lumbar 1 and 2 nerves. The sympathetic supply will inhibit. In this way, the contraction of the sphincter muscle will be not possible. In this way, remember, this will inhibit the sympathetic nerves supply. So in this way, the brain will inhibit it, and this is why the negative sign shows that it will be relax. So the relax of the internal and external sphincter muscle, while on the other hand, this is a lumbar, while the sacral is the basically is used for the giving the signal to the more the relax of the internal and external sphincter muscle. In this way, the positive feedback mechanism will occur, will lead to expel the waste, is known as the defecation. This is the simple mechanism to understand easy. So this is the inhibition of the sympathetic supply, while the promote the parasympathetic supply to dilate the sphincter muscle, internal and external, will lead to defecation. This is the simple way to understand. This is the defecation. In this video, we have discussed about the defecation, the voiding, and the gut-brain axis. Thanks for watching. If you like my video, please make sure to subscribe, like and share, and see the next video. For this time, bye.